Hello there guys, it's Dino here, and I am here to give my thoughts on the brand new Safari Ltd 2019 figures that we know of so far. We know of 6 so far, and I'm going to give you my opinions on them. So first up, the first one we got to find out about is their brand new Carnotaurus. And this thing, I have to be honest, when I first looked at it, I was pretty disappointed with it. There's something about the head sculpt that I still think is a little off about it. I'd say disappointed. I guess I'm not really disappointed. I don't find it very appealing. That being said though, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I like it. I really was a little iffy on it at first, but at this point, I'm like, no, that's a really good figure, personally. I think that thing looks really nice. But one of the downsides of it is it's massive. I was talking to Kikizilla, and apparently the Carno is like 10 plus inches long. Like, it's the size of the Safari Feathered T-Rex. It's massive. It's not small. But other than that, I think it looks really good. There's no complaining about the color scheme, in my opinion. It's just the sculpt. The head looks a little weird to me, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. And it has a couple accuracy issues. I don't think the hands look quite right. So I think the hands are just too big still in general. They had pretty small hands, and the head's too thick. But other than that, but one that I don't get why people aren't talking more about is that gorgeous woolly rhinoceros. I think that thing is amazing. Definitely better than the Carnotaurus, in my opinion. That thing just, the paint job, the shading, the detail, has longer fur on the hump. That just looks amazing. That thing is absolutely phenomenal. The one thing I'm a little iffy on is I think the horns could have used a little bit of extra color on them and to kind of differentiate it, make them stand out a little more. But other than that, oh my gosh, that woolly rhino, that thing is brilliant, absolutely great, phenomenal. I love that thing. It's one of my favorites. Next up, we move away from the 2 that Spino Dude got into the next 2 that we figured out about, the 2 that Kayakasaurus got. So now the first one of these that we see is the new Safari Ltd. And I personally really like this figure. I think it looks really good. I love the detailing. I love the color scheme. I think the color scheme's obviously been based on a wood duck. I think the colors really blend nicely. I love like the chestnutty color of the wings and like the tail and the underside. I think that looks beautiful. The one thing I don't like is the bottoms of the feet. The bottom of the feet have no detailing on them, nor any real sculpting on them. They're just these flat things that I really, really don't like at all. But other than that, I think that's a gorgeous little figure. Well, I say little, it's pretty big. This thing is no Safari Ltd Anzu, because Kayakasaurus was a good boy, and he did size comparisons. Good boy, Kayakasaurus. And so because of that, we know from that the Ltd is a decent size. It's about as tall as the Safari 2018 Triceratops is tall. It's definitely probably about, I'd say, twice the size of the Safari Anzu. Very impressive in size. That kind of bugs me a little bit. That's one thing I definitely say from what we're seeing of the new Safari 2019 line, is they're big. Like, these figures, many of them are abnormally large. Not all of them, but yeah. The size doesn't bug me all that much, actually. It's just for like a series that's pretty big, but I personally don't care that much about how big they are. The Styracosaurus, though, oh my gosh, the Styracosaurus is my favorite of the figures that have been revealed so far. That thing is amazing. First off, it's really, really accurate. And the sculpt work is as good as a normal Safari Ceratopsian. And the pose is probably the best of any Safari Ceratopsian to date. And the paint job is definitely the best of any Safari Ceratopsian, maybe even any Safari figure to date. I just love it. I love how they were able to pack in so many colors. There's reds, there's oranges, there's greens, there's tans, there's whites. There's so many colors packed in to this Styracosaurus, and yet they were still able to make it look realistic, like a real animal could actually look like that. I think that's really, really impressive personally. That's not something that you can do easily. I'm really, really impressed with that paint job, Safari Ltd. That's amazing. This is my favorite of their Ceratopsians that they have come up with so far. Well, currently at least. You don't know. Safari Ltd has some more figures that they haven't revealed quite yet. We're gonna see. But currently, that's Styracosaurus is my favorite of the ones that have been revealed so far. And then now for the last two that we currently have revealed. The Prestosuchus is one of the ones that Bioniclesaurus got, and that thing is also beautiful. The detail, I'm a little iffy on the detail personally, because while it's definitely really detailed and it looks good, the detail just seems a little bit too crisp to me. Like, it has, the scales are too well defined. I'm a little iffy on, but other than that, I think that this thing is freaking gorgeous. I love the paint job that they've done to it. Another fantastic paint job. I love how they didn't just go for like a crocodilian style. This clearly, though you can kind of see a little bit of the crocodilian color in there, it definitely has a lot of uniqueness, especially in the whites and the black stripes. Which I think is very good because this was a croc line archosaur, so it was more closely related to crocodiles than crocodiles are to dinosaurs. But it wasn't a crocodile. It was in somewhat of a different area. It was closely related to crocodiles, but it wasn't. And so I do think that that was a good idea to make the color scheme look different. Yeah. Overall though, the detailing is just a little, my minor gripe. I think that thing is great. The other minor gripe I have with it is how it has claws on every single toe, which I don't think it should. At least on the front feet. I'm pretty sure it had the same thing going on that a Ceratopsian has, with the inner three with claws and the outer two without claws. But other than that, that thing is just amazing. That thing's great. And then the other one that we've gotten to see is the Camarasaurus. And oh my gosh, that thing is also great. Bionicle released a little teaser image of these two. And in that teaser image, I didn't really like how the Chimera looked in it. Because the filter made the blue look much brighter than it actually is. I like how it actually looks though, with this nice, very dull, like darker colored blue, this nice tanner underside, and these lovely brown stripes on top of it, as well as the one foot that's been lifted up. That thing has such a gorgeous pose. It's so good, it's so amazing. This, I think, is the one figure that has been a Carnegie remake, because so far everyone's gotten one new figure and one Carnegie remake. The Carnotaurus is a remake, the Styracosaurus is a remake, and the Camarasaurus is a remake. And then, of course, you know, we've had lots and lots of remakes from 2018 and 2017. But this, I think, is the one Carnegie remake that's, like, obviously a Carnegie remake. Like, there's no way that they made this Camarasaurus without going off of the Carnegie style. Because this thing is a very, very Carnegie-styled dinosaur figure. I could see how if Carnegie were still making figures today, they might make something like this. But yeah, that thing is just also amazing. It sounds really big though. From what Bionicle was saying, and just from the look of it in his hand, that thing looks bigger than the Amargasaurus that they made. Like, this thing is a massive sauropod, which, you know, I think is good because it is a sauropod. I'm a little again iffy on that because it wasn't the biggest sauropod, but you know what? Who really cares? It's a lovely figure. I love the detail and the skin wrinkles. I know one person who's a little iffy on the fact that it doesn't have any scalation, but I don't really care. I think the wrinkles cut it. I really think they do. I think that this is great. It's amazing. So, for my overall thoughts of the 6 we've seen so far, and again, we haven't seen all of them yet, all the dinosaurs that they're releasing yet, but the ones we've seen, I'm thinking that they might pull another 2017 on us, guys, because 2017 is where pretty much every single figure was great and amazing, and then 2018 wasn't quite as good, but these figures are great. There's 2 figures, so because out of the 6, there's 2 I'm a little iffy on, the Centipede and the Carnotaurus, but I still think they look pretty good. It's just, I don't think they're amazing. And then the rest of them, I think, are just great. So, I mean, 2 that I'm iffy on, 4 that I think are amazing. I think that's pretty darn good odds. Safari, you've done it again. You've done a great lineup, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the figures that you are going to reveal for 2019. That's it for this video. Dino Man, out.